Hi, I'm Peter Tragos, host of the Lawyer You Know podcast and YouTube channel. The saying goes, everyone hates lawyers until you need one. Well, I'm here when you need one to answer your questions and give you insight that you didn't know you needed. Along with my partners, Pete Sardis, the professor, who has a finance and business background, and George Tragos, my dad, and the consigliere, a criminal defense giant, we can answer any questions you have. Welcome back, everyone. It's Peter Tragos, the Lawyer You Know, and today we're going to be breaking down the trial starting this week down in South Florida, in my home state, where Nikolas Cruz is on trial for the shootings at Stoneman Douglas High School down in South Florida. And as you may know, this is a penalty phase trial where they are only talking about whether or not he will get the death penalty or life without parole. Because as you know, he has already pled guilty to multiple murders, and we broke down that plea hearing on this channel. If you want to check out that video, we will link it in the description below, because he's already pled guilty. So now they have to decide. A jury of 12 has to decide whether or not Nikolas Cruz will get the death penalty or life without parole. So if you're interested in this topic, it's a 4-month trial. So there's going to be a lot of content on it. And if you want me to break it down at reasonable intervals, leave me a comment below letting me know, or like the video as we get started. So the jury's been impaneled, 7 men, 5 women, and 10 alternates, which is a large number of alternates for any trial. But like I said, this is expected to last 4 months, with opening statements starting on July 18th, the day I'm recording this video. And what we can expect to see throughout this trial is the prosecutors to highlight the heinous acts of Nikolas Cruz, his plan, his actions within the school, what he did when he saw injured victims on the ground, how he circled back and shot again, the ruthlessness of his actions, the reckless disregard for human life, the deplorable nature of what he did and how he did it. That is what they are going to highlight. They do not need to prove that he did this because he's already admitted it. So instead, they are proving enhancing and aggravating factors that they hope will lead this jury to choose death. And on the other side, Nikolas Cruz's lawyers will argue this case very differently than the normal phase of a trial you're used to watching. It's not a did he do it? It's not a was he insane? There are no affirmative defenses in the penalty phase. They are not going to ask this jury to find him not guilty by reason of insanity. But you will hear a lot about his childhood, about how he was born with issues, dealt with abuse, developed more mental health issues as he grew up. And those issues affected him greatly. And all of the other surrounding circumstances that he couldn't control as a young man, and they exploded. And this heinous act occurred. But he is able to be rehabilitated. Even though he will never make it out alive, do not end this young man's life now. Give him the chance to rehabilitate in prison. They are going to weigh on the sympathies of the jury. They are going to try to make this defendant, Nikolas Cruz, a sympathetic character. They are going to be respectful to the victims and their families. So while they're not going to ask the jury to find Nikolas Cruz not guilty by reason of insanity, I expect for a lot of mental health issues and professionals and testimony and evidence to come out in this case. I expect evidence of prior abuse to Nikolas Cruz to come out. The rules are a little different, the evidence is a little different, and the arguments are a little different. We will get a roadmap of the case as we hear opening statements and the state begins their evidence. I expect to hear from victims' families about what they've gone through, about what it was like, about how horrifying this was for them. Because those aggravating factors are what the state is going to use to seek the death penalty. And on the other side, those factors are called mitigating factors or lessening factors that the defense is going to try to argue to get the jury to come back with a sentence of life without parole. So there's no winning for Nikolas Cruz in this trial. But it's an interesting phase that Florida has that I think we can all learn from as we go throughout it. And if you remember back to the Ronnie O'Neal trial, we broke down a very similar phase. That trial was held in two parts: the guilt phase, where Ronnie O'Neal was found guilty, and the sentencing phase, where that jury did not find for death. We'll talk about the rules, we'll answer your questions, but let me know what your interest is below, and let me know if you have any questions for a follow-up video, because we are going to continue to follow up with this as long as you all have interest. We'll give you breakdowns of what's going on in the trial, what evidence is coming out, which way we're leaning, whether it's going to be life or death from this jury. But I want to know what you think and what you're interested in as far as this case goes. Thanks for joining us today, and like the video on your way out. Thanks for watching this episode of The Lawyer You Know. If you like this content, please share it with your friends. Make sure you subscribe to our page and like our videos. If you want some interaction, get in the comments and we'll be sure to get back to you. If you want to know any more information about our firm or this page, you can find out in the description or visit tragoslaw.com. We post multiple times throughout the week, so make sure you hit that bell so you can get the notification and not miss out on the next episode.